Having a strong prompt for your AI agent can be the difference between success and failure. The agent knows what to ask, or it doesn't. It handles conversation flow without even thinking about it, or it stumbles over what to do next. In this video, I want to take you through the method that I use for prompting my conversational AI agents, and you can use it whether you're using GHL's conversational AI tools or you're building your agents inside workflows. And I'm going to take you through a couple of example prompts just to show you how I do this when I'm working with clients and on client projects. But the starting point is to take you through the structure and the methodology that I use. And I'm someone who loves to try and find memorable names, catchphrases, things like that that makes it easier for me. So I have called it the focus method. And each letter is for a specific part of the prompt. And you don't have to create them in order in your prompt, but it's a way to say, oh, okay, have I got this inside the prompt because it's useful for the AI. So the focus method, what do each of these letters mean? Well, the F is for FAQs, helping the AI agents understand key things about the business, as an example. So it could be who the founder is, the opening hours, the website, a little bit of overview of the products and services, things about refunds maybe, depending on the nature of the business and the prompts that you are creating. So F is for FAQs. O is about the objective. What is the AI agent trying to do? What's the goal that you have set for the agent now? It could be, if you're doing database reactivation, trying to get people booked in to a calendar. If it's a reputation build, you're trying to get them to leave a review on Google. If it's speed to lead, it could be asking some qualifying questions and then maybe organizing a callback. But helping the AI understand its objective is a key part of the prompt. It helps keep it on track of, okay, am I getting closer to this objective? What questions do I need to ask? When do I know when I've actually achieved this objective? So O is objective. C is about context. What other information do we need to give the AI that sits alongside that objective? So it could be the style and tone. It could be that we're asking it to act like a specific individual. Maybe it's based on gender or age, the language that goes with that. So maybe the context is, so it could be that you are an admin in a specific company. This is your name, this is your age, this is your style and tone of voice. Gives the AI agent that context. The U in focus is about user data. Are there data points that we want to give the AI access to? Could be a conversation history, could be a custom field that tells it whether this user is an existing customer or not. Could be other data points of previous purchases, date of last appointment. We can give it that user data or give it access to custom fields and custom values and things like that. And then the S, the final part, is about the structure. What's the flow of the conversation that we want our AI agents to have? Because we're creating them as conversational agents. We need to help it understand the structure that we want it to take. What to say first, what to say second. If somebody replies in a particular way, does it go down a different path? How does it respond to certain types of questions? How does it finish a conversation? We can map all this out in the prompt, give it those details of the overall structure of the conversation. So that's the focus method. So each letter is something different. We've got FAQs, objectives, context, user data, and structure. And what I'm now going to do is I'm going to dive into a couple of prompts and show you how I fit these into the prompts that I create for my agents. So on my screen now I have a prompt. It's for a database reactivation agent. So going out to old and cold leads, trying to re-energize them, have a bit of a conversation, maybe ask some qualifying questions. And you can see at the top here, yes, there are bits highlighted in yellow. You can ignore those for now. But at the start here, I've got your job is to qualify leads over SMS and book appointments in the calendar for a demo of AI assistance on behalf of Cheesecake Digital. Cheesecake Digital is my agency business. So front and center at the top of the prompts, I've got the objective. I'm helping the AI understand what the objective is for the conversations that it is having. I've then got some output and style information, casual message, conversational, UK idiom, and British dialects. I'm English, so I generally put that in there if the agents are working on my behalf. Now, from this initial intro here, I've got objective and I've got context. And just to help you understand, my FAQs are at the bottom. So there's no right way or wrong way of how you order these in your prompt. It's just useful to have them in there as points that their AI can refer to. So FAQs, if we go to that, okay, company name, website, opening hours, bit of a description about the company, what it does, meeting booking link, things like that. So, okay, I've got FAQs in there. Great, so I've got FAQs, I've got objective, so the AI knows what it's trying to achieve. I've got context. There's actually a little bit more context in here, I think. Rules. Okay, so in rules, I've got a bit more context. You are AI. You are not AI. You are Susan working as a business development manager on behalf of Cheesecake Digital. Okay, so that's context. If the user asks you a question we haven't provided you an answer for, please default to telling them you're a business development manager and don't understand the full technical details. And that they can schedule a call with a sales manager if they want to learn more. Context, okay? So these are things that we're helping the AI understand what it should and shouldn't do, how to refer to certain things while it's having the conversation. You may have seen some of the curly brackets and things here. So in GHL, that's the way that we refer to custom fields and custom values and things. So I've got conversation history here, and I've got the most recent message from the user. So now I'm into user data, something that's specific to the user. In this case, it's about the conversations that they've already had, the messages that they've already had, because the AI agent here, this one is going into a workflow. So there's a looping process for that workflow. So I am storing all the messages that the AI creates, and then all the messages I get back from the user, that's being stored in a custom field. That gives me my conversation history. So I'm telling the AI to look at that conversation history so it understands where it is within the flow of the conversation. And then it can decide, okay, what's my next message going to be? What questions do I still need to ask? How do I respond to what the user has sent me? And in this basic prompts that I've got here, I've got details about responding to the first message. So if their response to the first message is positive, I want you to say exactly this. If their response, the first message was negative, I want you to say exactly this. So we're starting to think about the structure now in that focus method. So structure of the conversation. Once we get through those first messages, because this is database reactivation, and we're just trying to do a couple of qualifying questions, we've got details here. Ask them to provide details about the business and services, get them to tell you more about how they generate appointments like Google advertising, tell them Cheesecake Digital is all about helping them use AI. Okay, so we've told the AI a couple of questions. Once you've got a response to the first message, if it's positive, do this. If it's negative, do this. Then go into the question. So this is a basic example of structure, the flow of the conversation that we want it to have. Now, I want to take you to a more complex example, just so you can start to see the difference and some of the things that are possible. This is for a hair salon, which has multiple different services, So as we go through the prompts, you'll be able to see how I've structured things specifically for the conversation flow, and it may give you some ideas for the prompts that you create for your clients. That's where I'm going to go next. Okay, so here we are with the next prompt. This is for speed to lead. Created it for WhatsApp, so any inquiries that come in, this agent would pick up those inquiries. It would go through a specific flow. Now, a key point to understand about this one, there are some references to locations, like where the closest salon is to the user. That's all been set in a structured workflow before the AI picks up the conversation. And this is where it's important that I've got the references to the conversation history, because the first couple of messages back and forth, the AI is not touching those. The AI is not involved in creating those, because they're instead in a structured workflow with some quick reply buttons, because it's WhatsApp. Okay, but if we look at the prompts that I've got here up front, still got the objective. Okay, collect details from the user, pass them on to staff members of the salon. Job is to ask questions related to the qualified prospect section, etc., etc. Output style, professional, friendly, casual message. So starting to have objective in there, starting to have context. Additional context here, I've got some conversation guidelines, some examples of what to say and what not to say. Additional context, the user has messaged on WhatsApp to seek information about services or to book an appointment. So yes, objective and context I've got sort of up front, then there's a couple of bits, as we go through the rest of it. If I scroll all the way down, just to repeat the process from the previous prompts, I have my FAQs at the bottom. So we've done F for FAQs, O for objective, C for context. User data, we still have the conversation history that we're referencing. For this one, we've also got information about whether the user is an existing customer or not. Where are we? Got details of name of the Android or the bot that we've created, company name, so those are all coming from custom values. So there's already data and bits and pieces that we're pulling in here, referencing the first name. So there's things in here that we are, oh, actually I've scrolled too far. I need to be on this one. There we go. That's why it didn't make sense. I jumped to a reputation build and I was confused as the question it was asking in the prompt. So I went all the way down to FAQs. Okay, now I'm back here. Do not prompt to book a call. They've been sent one of the first two messages, so there's a check there of whether they're an existing customer or not. If they're an existing customer, they will have been sent this particular message. So now I'm into structure and user data. User data I've got here, the convo history. And then I'm now into this big, what is like 4 pages of structure for the conversation flow. Okay, so I'm going to take you through this bit by bit just so you can see how I've put the structure together for the conversation flow. So the first message that's going to be sent, whether it's a new user or an existing customer, if it's an existing customer, they're going to go down one flow and be asked if they want the same service that they had previously or whether they want something different. If they're a new customer, a new user that is not recognized, they're going to be asked, do you have a specific service in mind or would you like some guidance? And you'll see it as I'm scrolling here, other info, cut, color change, guidance, balayage, other treatment. So what I've actually done with this, and you can see it here, if the user is new, has provided details of their preferred salon location, not asked for a specific service and not asked for pricing or costs, say exactly this. Is there a specific service you're interested in? Would you like some guidance? If the user replies and says they want a nail service, facial or massage, go to other treatments. If the user replies saying they want a cut or trim, go to the cut section. If the user replies saying that they are interested in balayage, go to the balayage section. and likewise guidance and color change. So there's the start of the conversation, a couple of messages back and forth. Then there's a message from the AI saying, do you know what you're interested in, or do you want some guidance? Depending on how the user replies to that, the AI is going to say, okay, I now need to go and focus on the messaging for this particular section. I can see that somebody is interested in a color change. Okay, great. What do I need to ask in relation to a color change? So your prompt, if it's quite complex, there's a client that's offering multiple services, multiple locations, things like that, you can actually break the structure part, the conversation flow, into chunks, 4 different services, and then have the AI say, okay, I need to focus on this bit based on the response from the user. It's this block of information, this conversation flow. Okay, great, I can focus on that. So this is a bit more complex than the first prompt that I showed you, but hopefully you start to get a sense of what's possible when you are creating your prompts for your AI agents using the focus method, and we can create a conversational flow structure that moves between different sections depending on what somebody says. So that's what I wanted to cover in this video for you. Give you some guidance on the method that I use for prompting. So thinking about FAQs, objectives, context for the AI so it understands, user data that we're potentially pulling in from inside GHL, and then thinking about the structure of the conversation that we want it to have, what questions to ask, when, why is it asking those questions, how it responds to certain follow-ups and responses from users. That all fits into the structure part of the focus method. So I hope this helped. If you found it useful, please like, subscribe. I'll be creating more videos like this over time to help you as you build your agencies. I do also have a free school group. There's a link in the description. So inside there are tips, tutorials, and the ability to ask questions and get feedback. I'd love to see you in there, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video.